more for you, you feel it. You know it. This is your life, and it's time to go from contender to champion. This is The Show with John Madsen.
Welcome back to the show, everybody. I'm your host, John Madsen. This is The Show. Once again, super excited to be here. Thank you for all of your continued support. Truly, truly, truly appreciate all of it. The show has grown wildly, and it's all because of you guys. And so I always want to take a minute and acknowledge that. If you like the show, please share it. If you feel like it resonates with you or might resonate with a friend, please share it. And if you feel compelled to do so, please head on over to iTunes and leave me a 5-star review if you think the show deserves that, obviously. And by doing so, it helps bring other people who have never heard about this show onto this platform. And the whole reason I do it is to spread a message. And it's my hope that the message is truly beneficial to each and every one of you. So thank you. Today, I got a good episode for you. This is going to be a tactical episode and a strategy for you to set your focus. And I talk about this on probably 3/4 of the episodes on this show. One of the most important things a person can possibly do is focus on what he or she wants to happen. Most people, as you know, focus on what they don't want to happen. Just like a golfer standing on the tee box with water hazard on the right and sand trap on the left, you get up there before you take the swing and you are instantly telling yourself and having this conversation that you don't want to hook it to the left and land in the sand trap, and you definitely don't want to hit a high slice and end up in the water. And by focusing on both of those things, both of the things that you don't want to happen, your golf shot has no chance to actually go where you want it to happen. The good golfers know this. The good golfers know exactly where they want their ball to go, and they focus on that. That's the perfect shot in their mind before they take the swing. And taking that sport analogy and applying it to your life right now, you have zero chance of ending up where you want to end up, hitting the goal that you have vaguely in your mind, by focusing on what you don't want to happen, by focusing on what's going on in the world that you don't like, by thinking that the world is a scary, terrible place. And so the point of this show today is to help you reset your focus so that you can perform like a high performer. Championship performance on demand. How do you trigger that? Because the one thing that I do when I consult with people, the one thing that I do probably better than any other single person that I know of, especially in my industry, which is kind of in the fitness industry, but more so in the mindset industry, is I understand how to automate championship behavior so that the person gets the result that they want inevitably. It's going to happen. But the very first part of that is knowing what that outcome is. If you don't know what that outcome is in the first place, you have no chance of getting it. You're just in the forest without a compass. No idea where north is, no idea where south is, no idea where west is, no idea where east is. Just wandering the fuck around. And then wondering why you never reach the destination. And wondering why, when you look at John or you look at some other people, why they always reach the destination. It's because we have a map. Better yet, we have a navigation system, just like your iPhone. Turn right in 300 feet. You turn right. But those directions do not exist unless you have a destination that's solidified. You can call that a goal. You can call that a vision. You can call that whatever you want. To me, it's an outcome. What is it that I want? Not what is it that I don't want. Go ahead this week and ask your kids, ask your spouse, ask your coworkers. Play this game. What do you want? Say, what do you really want? What do you really want? And they'll be like, what do you mean? What do you want? Where do you see yourself in 10 years? Where do you see yourself in 20 years? Where do you see yourself in 80 years old? And people will say stuff like, yeah, I don't know, but I just know I don't want to regret, blah, blah, blah. They're focusing on what they don't want. I don't know, man. I just don't want any debt. And so they only can focus on the debt, not playing offense, not making it rain. And you might think that this is little stuff, but it's not. It's the big stuff. Because a person's language pattern tells you exactly what their belief systems are, what their filters are, and what lens they're using to view the world. We've talked about how a person has an unconscious mind that acts like a NASA supercomputer, more powerful than a supercomputer, more powerful than the most powerful quantum computer, taking in billions of bits of information a second. And in order to not overwhelm us consciously, we have to generalize, distort, and delete stuff. And when we continuously generalize, distort, and delete stuff based on our past, some of our past occurrences, quite possibly, our value systems, some of the things our mom or dad said when we were 5 years old, creating those belief systems, we're viewing the world differently than any other person. Our reality is our reality. Another person's reality is their reality. That's why arguments happen. That's why you have two sides fighting about one reality, and you cannot possibly understand another person's reality. The only thing that you can do is understand that it exists. Most of the time, people are arguing for what they believe. And they think you're crazy for what you believe. So if you take a look at just this time, right now, where we have chaos going on in the outer world, we have protests, we have riots, we have loots, we have unimaginable crime with a police officer taking a man's life. And we've created this chaos where there's different people out there who believe in their own reality. But what they're failing to understand is that their reality is just their own. And just because they have people who have that same philosophy, and they might be viewing the world through their same filters, that the other side are evil and bad and whatever, right? And you can think whatever you think. You can absolutely have an opinion for what you believe is right. I have mine, you have yours. But the fact of the matter remains, I have this understanding that most of those people are doing what they think's right. They're living their life based on their reality, based on their upbringing, based on their belief systems, based on their faulty belief systems, their limiting decisions. Their filter is different. And I can understand that. Do I agree with a lot of what's going on from a lot of people? No, I don't have to agree with it. But that doesn't take away from the fact that they're acting in their own reality, which is way different than mine. And why is that important in today's episode? Today's episode is how to trigger flow, how to get in the zone, how to set yourself up for massive, massive, massive success. And the way to do that is to win the day. The day to do that is to trigger that every single day, what I call triggering high performance behaviors and habits that are going to lead you to the championship. The championship being the outcome. It's important to know what I just talked about because we're going to talk a lot about focus here. We're going to get deep into focus over the next 10 minutes. And I'm going to tell you exactly what I do every single day to start that automatic process of championship behavior so that I get what the fuck I want every single time. and why everybody else looks and wonders and scratches their head and can't figure out why the fuck they don't ever get what they want, why they can't win when I keep winning. That's what I want for you. And that's what this whole podcast is about. It's about winning. It's about winning. It's only for people who want to win. If a person didn't want to win, they don't want to listen to this show. They don't want to listen to me speak. In fact, what I say is going to piss them off if they don't want to win. You're only listening right now and nodding your head because you want to fucking win. That's it. So we can talk about winning in terms of fitness. We can talk about winning in terms of finance. It doesn't matter. It's the same game, guys. At some point, you are going to realize it's the same game. Because when I get on a phone call with somebody who wants information about my training program or wants me to be their consultant, and let's say they want to lose 30 pounds, the first thing I tell them is this: guys, if you think that all you need is a training program and a meal plan, just get out your fingers right now and Google it. Get out your keyboard, get out your fucking fingers and Google it. Because doing something is better than nothing. You already understand that. But my next question I ask them is, what are the behaviors that you knowingly do right now? Knowingly, consciously, what are some of the things you do on a weekly basis that when you do it, you already fucking know that it's not getting you closer to the championship? You're taking steps backward. What are those things? And they're like, wow, nobody ever asked me that before. Well, I like beer. I like to have like 3 or 4 beers, man. I get home from work and it's hot outside and I'm a beer guy. I just like that beer. Or, you know what? Like I do good during the week, but Friday night comes and I've had a busy day and I just want to sit down, kick my feet up, and I want a bottle of red wine. I like expensive red wine. I know that when I do it, it leads me to eating cheese and crackers, and I understand that it's not getting me closer to my goal. I want this fucking 6-pack, but yeah, I guess it's that. Or, I cook dinner for my 7-year-old and 10-year-old, and every time I cook them a grilled cheese or peanut butter and jelly sandwich, or I have a milkshake, or I make them a milkshake, I take 3 or 4 spoonfuls every single day. And I know every time I do it that I shouldn't do it because it's not getting me closer to the fucking championship. So you understand right now. And it's like this light bulb moment, and it should be for you right now. I want you to literally ask yourself, what are the behaviors that I exhibit on a consistent basis that I absolutely know that when I do it, I'm consciously making a choice to not get closer to my goal? And then you write that shit down, because awareness is the first step. Wow. Before I was just doing it kind of automatically because 95% of the shit I do every single fucking day is on autopilot. But now by asking myself that question, I can stop that fucking autopilot and become aware of the thing that may be inhibiting progress. Perfect. So on the sales call, I just fucking helped you understand and bring awareness to something that you already knew. So if you're a competitive guy and I give you a meal plan and you pay for a training program, chances are that you can do it for 6 weeks. You can do it for 12 weeks. Shit, you might even be able to do it for 24 weeks. But because you just want the result and you're going to be competitive with yourself, and you can trick yourself into beating your willpower for a certain number of weeks or months, you might get the result for a second. And then inevitably, all that shit is going to undo itself and you're going to be right back to where the fuck you started. Why? Because you'll never outperform your identity, and you're never going to beat your willpower long term, ever. You can't. And so when I consult with people, I bring them in with the understanding that we can do a lot of dumb shit. We can cut out carbs. I can tell you not to fucking ever have alcohol again. I can tell you to cut out meat and go vegan. I can tell you to not eat after 6 p.m. I can tell you to eat 1 meal a day. And there's a million different dumbass strategies or fads that I could help you with. And you could absolutely get the result for 6 weeks, 12 weeks, 24 weeks, maybe even 6 months. I guess that is almost 24 weeks. but you are swimming up current. You're almost drowning every single day until one day you can't do it anymore. That willpower breaks and beats your fucking ass. And it's that exact point that you stop doing those things and that you go back to your old behavior because your identity never changed. You just tried to win your willpower and you're fucked for the rest of your life. That's what happens in fitness. That's what happens in finance. The behaviors that you know you have to change and you knowingly don't change them on a consistent basis, at some point you understand and you just try to break that down right there. I got to switch this. I can't be doing that anymore. And so you do something extreme and you're battling that willpower and inevitably it's going to break. It's the wrong way to do it. It's the wrong way to do it because it doesn't work long term. So it's not about the meal plan. It's not about the training plan. As I said many times on this show, just go walk around the grocery store. How many motherfuckers are in extreme shape? How many people are living in their best bodies, making incredible money, and seemingly have it all? Not very many people. And it's not the strategy, it's not the tactic, although that stuff is important. It's the fucking mindset. It's the focus that I'm going to talk about. How do you trigger it and make it automatic? Because that's what you really want to know. You want to know how I can wake up and trigger high performance habits every single day, or at least 95% of the days, or 98% of the days. And I can do it in a way that I'm going to do until I'm 85 years old. And so I'm going to stay in incredible shape, and it's going to be automatic for me to do it. Seemingly, while you swim upstream, I'm swimming straight downstream, almost floating on my back. Does that mean it's not going to be hard? No, especially in the beginning. You're going to have to do some work. But you reach a point where there's cruising altitude and those habits are built in. That behavior is built in. How do we get there? I'm going to give you tactic right now, a strategy right now with all that backstory. Obviously, I work with clients over time to develop these things, but right now it's as complex and simple as what I'm about to say. It all goes back to what the title of this show is going to be, or the topic. If you want to automate high performance behavior, first you have to have a championship outcome in mind. Because that is the focus. That is the focus. If you want to lose 50 pounds, then that is the focus. If you want a six-pack, that's the fucking focus. So once you have that championship outcome, then you need an evidence procedure. How are you going to know? How are you going to know if you succeeded or not? You see, I was working with a guy the other day who was struggling. And I'm like, what do you want, man? Like, what do you want fitness for? He's in okay shape. Literally probably has 10 pounds to lose, not shredded. Makes great money. And he's like, John, I just want to be healthy. I'm like, are you not healthy? He's like, no, I'm healthy. But how he said it and his body language, like, I just want to be healthy. Like, that's fucking not a championship outcome. Like, just to be healthy, to not be sick, that's what you want? That's not compelling enough, man. Like, that makes me bored. I'm bored as fuck listening to you. What do you want? Right? You got to find those answers. I can't find them for you. I know what the fuck I want. So you have that outcome, and then you have to have an evidence procedure. If I just want to be healthy, what does that mean? You go get a checkup, your blood markers are okay, like you're not sick, you don't have cancer. I don't know what that means, right? And neither do you. Evidence procedure. Evidence procedure. I look in the mirror, I look at my body, I see abs. That's a fucking standard I have 365 days out of the year. I can snap a picture, everybody in the world can see abs. But more importantly, I look in my eyes and I say, I'm proud as fuck of you, John, looking back at myself in the mirror. Evidence every single morning. Take my shirt off, can take a picture. It's either there or it isn't. Why? I have my own reasons for why. You need yours too, okay? So if we have that, okay, I need you to understand that the focus is integral part of this process. If you have a financial goal, I want to make 100K a month. I want to make 50K a month. John, I want to make 20K a month. One, you have to have that goal and you have to have the reason. Why do you want that? What exactly is that going to mean to you? Okay. And how are you going to know? What's the evidence procedure that you're going to do it? Well, I'm going to go and I'm going to log into my bank online on a certain date. I'm going to flip open my laptop and I'm going to see exactly if I did or didn't hit it. And if I hit it, this is how I'm going to reward myself. If I didn't, I'm going to ask myself why I didn't hit it, what I could do better, and I'm going to learn and I'm going to repeat that process. Championship outcome is number one, guys. Championship outcome is number one. So how do I automate after that? How do I automate that championship behavior? The focus is super important. Okay, the focus is super important. We have to set the focus because our emotions are going to be the biggest determining factor of our behavior. So if we wake up in a negative state, a negative emotion, depressed, anxious, sad, mad, whatever it is, that's going to affect our behavior, usually. For most people, all the time. For champions, we know how to fix that. A motivated behavior is going to get you, a motivated state of emotion is going to get you to do the things that's going to propel you to get the goal that you have, right? So this is how I do mine. It starts the night before, guys. It starts the night before. I have a thing called Victory Hour. I may have said it on another show, but I really want to hammer it on this show for this reason. I get 7 hours of sleep. My high performance day the next day starts with 7 hours of sleep. Not 5, not 4, not 3, fucking 7. Do I always get 7? Not all the time. Most of the time, yes. If I go to bed at 10, I'm going to set my alarm accordingly and make sure I get 7 hours of sleep. From that time, when I wake up, there's a victory hour that I set my focus for the day. Okay, I'm going to talk about this victory hour really quickly, and then I'm also going to talk about how I cement it, and that's how I start stacking wins up in the morning, winning in the morning, so that everything else falls exactly in the order that I want it to. First 20 minutes when I get up, meditation. I sit down, regardless of how many things that I have on my mind that I have to do or I have work to do. I sit down for 20 minutes and I meditate. And I just breathe. The next 20 minutes, I read or learn something inspiring. Want to read a book, want to learn something, 20 minutes. I have timers on. Next 20 minutes is where I set my focus. So notice that the meditation is prime. It's priming me. The learning from the book is priming me. It's inspiring me. So I'm priming myself for this next portion, which is focus, setting my focus. I plan my day. I look at my calendar, I plan my day out so I know exactly what I got to do. Then I have 2 things called Z blocks, zero distraction blocks. I want my Z blocks to be 90 minutes. If they have to be 60, they're 60. And I write 2 things, or maybe it's one thing, it's the same thing for both Z block, where I'm going to be undistracted for 90 minutes, 60 minutes to 90 minutes. And if I get those Z blocks done, I'm going to move the needle. From there, the most important part about all of this, I write my goal down. That championship outcome. What the fuck do I want? I want this. How do I know I'm going to have it? Because of this. Why do I need it? Because of XXX. From there, I have a running list of 1,000 experiences I want to experience in my life. I have 1,000 material things that I want. Is it 1,000 right now? No, but it builds every day. And here's where my focus is so integral to my success. You guys will probably skip this step, and it's the dumbest thing you can fucking do. If you're struggling and you're just going to be like, I don't need that part, well, you're going to keep struggling. If there was a genie and you could have whatever you want, it didn't matter if you think it'll make you happy or not happy, if you could have whatever the fuck you wanted, and it was unlimited, what's on the list? A Bugatti? Who gives a shit? If you can have it, why not? Start with things you really want, and then just let your imagination go. And so the last part of that 20 minutes for me, the last 10 minutes of that, I'm looking up stuff on the internet. What do I want? How much does it cost? Where do I want to go? What can I put on this list? And what that's doing is changing, is loosening your grip on what's possible. And you start breaking down the limitations that you have in your brain. And you expand your focus on what you want, not what you don't want. And as soon as that 20 minutes is up, that 20-20-20 formula, I get into the shower, and the last 2 minutes is ice cold. And as soon as that water hits my face, every single day, I think to myself, champion. And after champion, I think to myself, do whatever it takes today. Do whatever it takes today. Because champions do whatever it takes. They don't try to game the system. They don't try to shortcut it. They just do championship shit. And as soon as that water hits my face, I feel gratitude for even having warm water in the first place. And the purpose is because it changes your physiological state of being by that water hitting your face. And then I anchor it to a word, champion. And you can pick whatever word you want. And it sets my productivity for the day. Because if you can change your focus, you can change your emotional state. And if you can change your emotional state, the way you feel, you can change your behavior. And if your behavior changes each and every day and becomes automatic, you inevitably reach your championship outcome. See, most people just try to reach a championship outcome without changing their behavior. Smarter people try to change their behavior, but then realize that they're trying to win an unwinnable battle against themselves and their willpower. True magicians, alchemists, understand that it goes farther back than that. They change their fucking focus. And they back that up with intentional action. And they understand how to change their emotional state on demand, which is then going to make them feel motivated to do the behavior that's necessary for them to get to the outcome that they want. And that's the biggest difference. As simple and complex as that is, that's the formula. You have to stop trying to beat your willpower. You have to reprogram your brain to win the championship and to make it automatic for you. You have to stop playing the wrong game and start playing the right game, and that comes with awareness first. I truly, truly, truly hope you implement what I just told you. Because if you do, in a week's time, in 2 weeks' time, in 3 weeks' time, everything's going to be different.
Thank you so much for joining us for another amazing episode of The Show with John Madsen. The greatest compliment that you could give us is liking, loving, and sharing this episode with all of your friends. So please go to iTunes, leave us a 5-star rating and review, and then share it online with everyone that you know. Make sure to tag John as well. He loves to hear from listeners of the show. The links for all of his socials and iTunes are in the show notes. Also, if you'd like to engage John for anything related to his coaching, consulting, or programs, please visit johnmadsen.com for everything you'd need to know on how to engage with John offline. And lastly, thank you for your time, your attention, and your consideration. This is The Show.